What's up, traders? Matt from the Trade Brigade here doing a technical analysis on ticker symbol SKLZ for Skillz Inc. On the left-hand side, we have the daily time frame, and on the right-hand side, we have the 30-minute intraday time frame. We haven't covered this one in quite some time, so we're going to start from scratch here from the daily perspective, just mapping out obvious areas of support and resistance, and then breaking it down from the 30-minute intraday perspective to see what else is happening. So I'd certainly argue there was a range in play here, and we are breaking out to the upside now. Some other critical levels that I'm just quickly mapping out here. So to the upside, we have 12, 1271, and underneath we have 1128 and 1050 down below. As we know, whenever we're dealing with a tight range of balance, so I would argue this is the balance here, we're basically looking for a breakout to double whatever range that we had in play. And clearly on today's session, we did break out and essentially double the range, fulfilling that first target right around the 12 whole dollar. The last thing I'll point out from the daily perspective is obviously the candle structure is fully green, but the volume down below is certainly supporting the move higher. So let's now take a look at the 30-minute intraday perspectives to see what else we can learn about today's activity. So taking out the Fibonacci's, going from the low of the first move up to the high of the first move, you can certainly see that on the pullback here, we pretty much respected the 38.2. I would say, we did touch the 50 technically, but from there was a nice strong break to the upside. So the first move, certainly healthy, certainly bullish. If we clean that up and this time go for the second move, so not all the way to the low of day yet, but from here all the way on up to the high, what you'll notice is the 38.2 was respected once again. So we have a structural low here around $11.65. We're going to remove that, and this time just go ahead and take a look at the entire day's range through the lens of Fibonacci, and clearly you can see nowhere even close to a 38.2 pullback on the entire day's range. So strong close, right? Especially punctuated by this pretty strong volume that we saw, especially on the second leg higher. So to me, we are looking for upside continuation. That doesn't mean just jump in blindly long, but to favor upside, the first and most bullish outcome here would be consolidation above 1162. So from the daily perspective, what that might look like would be something like this. So consolidation, bull flag gets put in, boom, you're taking a break of the highs in here, wherever they end up being. Maybe there's a resistance trend line, it's more of a pennant, who knows, but you're taking a break of whatever develops structurally to take us into the next target at 1271. And then after that, I would have to argue, scrunching this chart up a little bit, our next major point of contention would probably just be this gap fill area around 1330, and after this floor that was in place, closer to 1375. So those are my next overhead targets. Again, they're quite a ways away. We're not just jumping in blindly long, but we're really watching and monitoring what happens if there are pullbacks to around 1162 for healthy periods of consolidation. Now, don't get me wrong, I am aware of what's going on in the after hours. You can see right up here we are trading higher, so let's flip on the extended hours session and just talk about the potential for a gap higher. If this does gap up, then of course we're going to employ our gap rules that we always put into place. So let's say that the open is theoretically here at 1250 and the overnight high is going to be at 1271, which is a level we already have mapped out on the daily perspective. We'll go ahead and turn that back off for clarity's sake and just illustrate how we're going to go about trading this come the bell at 9:30 tomorrow morning. Remember, this is a framework. These numbers can change by the time 9:30 comes around, but again, use this framework. So if we open here, fail to take out the overnight high, trade back down through the open, you're looking for a gap and trap, in which case we come back down and retarget the gap fill area. In this case, today's high, which is right around, if we grab our drawing tool, you can see that it's right around at 1213. So that would be the downside target. Are you going to short this? Well, if we come on over to the trade tab, you can certainly see that it is hard to borrow, so not with shares, but there is good open interest in volume on the put side of the option contract, so maybe you do it via puts. If we go back over to the chart, the flip side of the coin, of course, has to be the gap and go. So if we open here at 1250, consolidate in here in the first 15 or 30 minutes of the day, maybe start to put in higher lows, right? Something like that. Look for the breakout up and over the overnight high. In this case, it happens to be 1271 for your next daily structure. Up above, we know that target is 1377. So those are my thoughts. It's really going to hinge upon, do we open on a gap? Do we employ this framework? Or do we open back inside of this area, in which case we're looking for healthy consolidation to hold $11.62. So those are my thoughts on the SKLZ, Skillz Inc. If you enjoyed today's video or learned anything new, let me know in the comments section or by giving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget our main channel is linked in the description, and all of that being said, I wish you a green trading week.